if you're waiting for Smash and Zelda and Kart and whatever to get a Wii U, you know, that's fine. But you're wrong. There's a lot of good games for the Wii U out right now. If you bought a Wii U right now, you could buy all of these games right now. And they're so good. You need to play them. You need to play them right now. I'm going to show you my top 10 games for the Wii U. And you're going to be upset because you don't have a Wii U. And you're going to be like, I need a Wii U. And then you're going to buy it. Yeah, here's my top 10. The Wonderful 101. This game is fucking sweet. It's one of the new IPs on the Wii U, and let me tell you, it's fun. It was created by, I'm about to butcher this, Hideki Kayama and Atsushi Inaba, who worked on the Beautiful Joe series as well as Okami together. And if you've never played those games, do it. Now. I'm serious. Do it. I'll wait. You done? Yeah, they're great, aren't they? I expected nothing less of this game, and boy, did I get what I was asking for. This game is freaking tough. Really freaking tough. And it's painful. Definitely a must-own for the Wii U. Wind Waker, but that's a remake. Yeah, it is a remake, but this game isn't just the old game with modified textures.
Like some of those new HD re-releases.
But it's completely redone for the Wii U. Wind Waker is one of my favorite Zelda games, and for good reason too. The exploration and adventure is something you just can't get out of any other Zelda game. And in HD freaking graphics, sign me the hell up. And don't think this is just the same adventure all over again. The gamepad actually makes this adventure feel way more seamless. You can swap items while battling, while on the ship, while running around, all without pausing the game. And they also added this swift sail and done, sold, twice as fast as before. I mean, some people think it takes away from the adventure, but I think sailing for forever is just boring. And making it twice as fast just makes me so freaking happy. Also, you can take selfies. Yay! So cute. Look at how expressive he is. So cute. Earthbound. Hey, wait a minute. There's something weird going on here. Hey. This is a SNES game. Why is it on this list? You may be wondering why I chose this game for a Wii U list, but that's just it. It's on the Wii U. Yes, while it is originally a Super Nintendo game, it's fairly hard to find, and with the prices online being pretty steep, I think this game deserves a spot on this list. The game itself is so good. On the surface, it looks just kind of like another Japanese RPG, you know, just standard turn-based kind of thing with a modern day skin on it, but this game actually has a lot more than just that. It has a great story, lovable and memorable characters, and the overworld just looks really nice and colorful. And it has a lot of great features in it. Specifically this. When you're able to defeat something in one hit, you auto-win. Why don't more RPGs do this? Why? Why don't more RPGs do this? And this game, as colorful and happy as it may seem, it actually has really, really dark themes to it. And they're pretty subtle, except for, well, I mean, you'll have to play the game to find out. And if you haven't played this game, I really recommend it. It's one of my favorites. Nintendo Land and Wii Party U. There's not a whole lot to say about these games except that they are really fun, as long as you're playing with friends. These games actually don't offer a whole lot of content for solo players, but for party games, they're pretty fantastic. The Animal Crossing game is hilarious, the Luigi's Mansion game is infuriating, the Dice Marathon game and Wii Party is friendship breaking. But if you do have friends or family to play with, get these games. Wii Party U even has a bundle deal and it comes with a Wii Motion Plus controller and it's like $40. What a freaking deal! now we're coming in with Mario and Luigi U. Now I know what you're gonna say. Mario U? Luigi U? They're the same game as before. Why are they on this list, man? I can't even... Mario is fun. Mario has always been fun. And challenging. If you don't like these games just because they're the same as before, then you got a problem. They're the same as before. The old ones are fun. Just because they're not so innovative, I can't even... doesn't mean they're bad. And Luigi U? Best DLC ever. It's like a full game for 15 bucks. Sign me up all day, every day. That would get really expensive. And if you're a platforming fan, a classic Mario fan, or just a plain old Nintendo fan, pick these games up. They're for you. When I first heard that Pikmin was getting a third game in the series, I ran out and bought the first two, hoping to beat them super fast. Well, long story short, I never touched them. I forgot all about them, and all of a sudden, hey, Pikmin 3 was here. What am I gonna do? I'm not gonna understand what the third game is even talking about. To anyone that thinks they really actually do need to play the first two to understand this one, nope. The story doesn't even talk about the previous stories, even a little, which makes sense, because these little guys are actually a different race than Olimar, so they obviously wouldn't know what they did in the other two games. And that makes this story feel like it's its own standalone thing, rather than a game you just don't understand because you didn't play the freaking first two. And this game is really good at making you feel like you already know how to play the game. It's also really good at making you feel like you already understand everything that's going on. You really don't realize that you're being taught how to play, and then all of a sudden you're just doing whatever you need to be doing, without any tutorials. And this game is fun, it's cute, it looks pretty. The bosses are really hard and fun, except the final boss, because it took me like 15 days in game to beat. But yeah, it was awesome, and there's no time limit in this game, so that's pretty good too. If you're a fan of Pikmin, play it. If you're not a fan of Pikmin, the third one's pretty different from the first two. If you're... play it. Yes, Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. Is it 3 or Try? I'm not really sure. This game is also featured on the 3DS, but I really prefer the Wii U version for the second analog stick. It makes my life way easier. And I've wasted so many hours on both versions of the game. It starts off kinda slow with you gathering and fishing and... oh man. What? I'm not hunting monsters. What are you? Then all of a sudden, after you're done doing your little fishing thing, you face your first big monster, the Great Jaggy. And you get your ass kicked, unless you've played Monster Hunter before, in which case you probably don't. But if you've never played Monster Hunter before, like me, you get your ass kicked. And you're like, what do I do? This game just taught me to fish. I don't know how to fight this thing. This thing is huge. And then you fight your second monster, and you're like, oh, this thing is even bigger than the thing. And then you're on your 10th monster, and you're like, oh, what am I doing? And then, all of a sudden, you've played for 100 hours on one character, and you're not even done with the story because you played online way too much. Now you're kinda OP for the single player, so you tell a big monster to sit down and shut up, and you get cocky, so you go back to multiplayer and get your ass kicked hard. Sorry, that was too much personal experience. But seriously, this game is not for everyone. There's a steep learning curve, so don't expect to be murdering giant badasses when you first start, because it's not going to happen. You're going to want to pick a weapon and stick with that one weapon until you learn the game mechanics, and then you can start experimenting. And speaking of weapons, there's 12 different unique weapon types, but they all play very differently. All of them with their own unique combos, attacks, power, speed, sluggishness, whatever. It's really in-depth, and it's really awesome. And the best part about this game is how satisfying the quote-unquote leveling is in this game. You upgrade your stuff to fight bigger things, to upgrade your stuff to fight bigger things until you've wasted your whole life doing nothing. There's a ridiculous amount of content, and I love it. This is one of my favorite games, not just on Wii U, but of the last few years. And of course, the last game on my list is Super Mario 3D World. And this game just has to be number one on my list. There's nothing else that could have taken this spot. I know I wasn't the only one to be pretty upset when Nintendo didn't release a trailer for Galaxy 3 or Sunshine 2 or even a new type of Mario. The trailers they first released for this game made me really, really uneasy. I almost gave up at that point. But then as time went on, they released more information, little by little, and I started feeling a tiny bit better, but nothing really changed my mind until I started playing this game. And oh my god, did I change my mind. I haven't had this much fun in a Mario game since I was a little kid playing Mario 64. This game just feels so good. The game has amazing atmosphere for every single level, every character is unique and really feels different, and the level design is just amazing. And I know we've seen this kind of Mario game before with Super Mario 3D Land, but they really perfected what they had going on with that game with 3D World. And I honestly think that starting with this game, Nintendo's really sealing the gap between 2D Marios and 3D Marios. And this might be a more common cycle for Mario. Maybe it release a 2D Mario, a 3D World type of Mario, and then a traditional 3D platformer Mario like 64 or Galaxy or whatever. And this game gets so freaking hard at the end. And just when you think you're reaching the last level of the game, boom! A million more levels, and all of these levels are way harder than any of the levels you just played, and the level design and the atmosphere is a million times better. And I'm really, really glad that Nintendo proved me wrong with this game. I thought it was going to be a bland 3D Mario, whatever, just like 3D Land, but on the Wii U. But this game is its own thing. It's nothing like any other Mario game that I've played, and I'm really excited to see what Nintendo has to offer in the future, especially for their other series like Star Fox, Metroid, Zelda, everything. And also, that cat suit. That cat suit's so good. And if you like this video, be sure to subscribe and like and do all that other stuff that everybody tells you to do, but it would be...